But at least a few Dems have learned something from the past 10 years besides how to be a drag queen. Last month, a centrist-leaning Democratic think tank held a retreat to figure out how to make normal people vote Democrat again. Their mission statement, quote, activist groups and progressive staffers push unpopular cultural positions, making it seem like Dems are more extreme than they actually are. Activists and activist groups promote their single issue and raise money around it, not to make Democrats electable. So, wait, you mean castrating little boys isn't popular? And that it's not cool to watch men beat up girls in sports, sometimes sending them to the hospital? Or that Americans don't want to bring in millions of illegals and make excuses for the ones who kill people? Well, dip me in dog and call me a fudgesicle. Seriously, that turns me on. Yeah, thanks for connecting those dots for us, Matlock. Now they offer Dems advice. Stop focusing on oppression politics without acknowledging the country's progress and potential. It's true. That's like a guy dating a supermodel who's also smart and funny, but he keeps complaining that she's Irish. They say to embrace patriotism, community, and traditional American imagery. Great. But I think that guy is already taken. Yeah. Avoid overly moralistic or condescending messaging. Speak plainly and directly. In other words, watch CNN and then do the opposite. And own the failures of democratic governance in large cities. Translation, Democrats start being Republicans. Now you could say, well, better late than never. But they could have saved this country a whole lot of pain and suffering if they did this sooner. Like when they first realized Joe had the brain of a snapping turtle. And who wouldn't want to be a Republican right now? It's like finding out you're pregnant and this is the dad. According to a CBS News survey, 76% of viewers approved of Trump's speech. It's amazing. That poll's right up there with my abs and kittens calendar. Most people said the speech made them feel hopeful, proud, inspiring, and unifying. You know, the opposite way you feel when you saw these guys. And according to a CNN poll, that's right, CNN, 69% had a positive reaction. 69. Even Rachel Maddow thinks that's a good number. No wonder all the sane Dems are depressed. John Fetterman summed the Dems' behavior up on Tuesday as a sad cavalcade of self-owns and unhinged petulance. It only makes Trump look more presidential and restrained. Yeah, and this is the guy who would wear sweats and a hoodie to a funeral. Bottom line, Trump derangement syndrome became Trump derangement strategy. And by taking over the party, it forced them to come out against everything Trump was for, which, as it turned out, was everything the American public was for. So it left them with nothing but hate. So I do wish the Dems luck who are trying to rid themselves of the craziest, angriest people in their party. But if you listened to me 3 years ago and not the weepy Jimmy Kimmels of the world, you wouldn't be in this mess. You're a brain-dead party, which serves you right for electing a brain-dead president. Let's welcome tonight's guest. His kids love to see him through plexiglass. Actor, writer, comedian Jamie Lissow. She's one of a kind, a chick who can do math. Financial analyst Heather Zumaraga. He doesn't need to go to his high school reunion because he sleeps in the parking lot. Comedian Jim Florentine. And she may be nearsighted, but she's always delighted. Host of the Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. Jamie, you know what sucks? And I'm not going to say your comedy routine, because that's too obvious. It's the fact that it takes Democrats to find out it's unpopular in order to actually change things. Now they're making, oh my God, maybe we shouldn't be for surgically enhancing children's genitals.
Yeah, and it's like they change based on what they think people want them to think. It's not any true ideas. And watching the Trump speech, which I was one of the 69% that absolutely approved, I thought it was a great speech. It was entertaining. I find it just immature that they sit down. They sit on one side while the other side cheers and claps. Even when a little boy survives cancer, like even at that moment, you would think they would grow. Watching the video of the speech, it reminded me of a lot of my shows, except for the half that stood up and clapped. And but I think in some ways, you know, I'm the divorce guy. I think in some ways Trump is like the Democrats' ex-wife. But guess what? We have children together, and that's the United States of America. And you have to put your ego aside, and you have to care about. Like I have an ex-wife, but because we have kids, you have to learn to co-parent. Like I still she actually texted me right before the show. I'm not even kidding you. It says, "F you." It's We still communicate just like we did when we were together.
That's a beautiful, beautiful story, Jamie. Heather, I'm trying to figure out, do the Dems have an identity if everything was in this like Trump derangement basket? And now that you find out that Trump is popular, the derangement can't work. But they didn't have a backup plan. What say you, Zumaraga?
They don't have a backup plan. And Jamie, you can get one of those black signs that they're holding up when you want the audience to clap. It's pretty effective.
I could use it.
At least on this show, but not so much in Congress, right? He really didn't say anything that people could disagree with. And so that was the problem, where you see people on CNN and even MSNBC saying, oh, he has a great approval rating. Well, yeah, closing our border, approve. Balance the budget. Yes, we approve. Keeping women out of boys' sports. Men, I should say, and boys' sports. Of course we approve of that. I mean, he had a few digs at Biden, but overall, to Trump's point, I mean, the guy could cure cancer, or he could solve everlasting peace in the world, and the Democrats would not care at this point today.
Good point. You know, Jim, I met your son in the green room. It's good to see that he's older than the women you date.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, he's actually 2 years younger. He's 14, yeah.
Good for you. How are you enjoying this? I haven't talked to you since Trump got into office. How's it going for you?
Oh, it's going great. All the comedians in New York City are miserable. They're all going on stage. They're trying to talk about Trump, but the crowd doesn't want to hear it.
Yes.
Like even a young crowd, like the young New Yorkers, like, please, I don't want to hear it. They're not even boo. If someone goes, who voted for Trump? 10 people raise their hand. They don't even get booed or anything like that.
Yes.
They're all miserable. The crowd's not like, hey, come on, let's just have some laughs, which is good. I haven't seen that yet, but I love what happened. This is a long speech. This is the longest speech ever he did.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's competitive, so he saw like Adrian Brody at the Oscars. He had the longest speech, so Trump's like, watch what I do on Tuesday. The only one that was probably mad was Elon. He's like, come on, I got to get out of here. I got to impregnate another woman. You're killing me.
It is funny, though, when you think about like the desperate desire for those Democrats to appeal to the youth vote by doing that little video game dance. But young people very easy are just like drawn to Trump because he just pisses those people off. He's like the kids' teachers hate Trump. So you got to love Trump.
Absolutely. All my kids' teachers hate Trump, so they all do the opposite, of course.
Yes.
And these young kids like it because he's a ball buster.
Yeah.
And he makes fun of, and this generation loves that stuff, which is great. It was like a comedy club, that whole speech.
Yeah.
Like it was heckling, yelling, people getting thrown out.
Yeah.
You know? He's playing to one side of the room.
Yes.
Like I always do it before I go on stage. I said to the comedian before, how's the crowd? He's like, this side's pretty good, but this one's not. So Trump got to go, all right, the left side's great, this side sucks.
Yes. There's always one old guy that just wanders around, doesn't know where he is. No, they ain't the soup kitchen. Kennedy, what did you make of those Democrats doing the Choose Your Fighter video?
I thought it was so stupid.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they are trying to focus group this stuff, and that's the opposite of leading. Like they're following whatever conservatives are doing right now, and they're so far in front because they're forecasting what problems might be coming up down the road, and Democrats are chasing Republicans' tails right now. And it's so disingenuous. It's so incredibly pointless. And they're spitballing anything. Like, can we try patriotism? And it's like, no, you were the guys, you sided with Colin Kaepernick when he started kneeling for the national anthem. Like, that's what your party was doing. And it's like the dean at Barnard College. You know, right now they have a bunch of anti-Israel, anti-Semitic protesters that are super pro-Hamas. And the dean is just trying to pacify them. And that's what Democrats did with progressives for the last 8 years. And this is what you get. You get Trump again.
Yes.
After you tried to E. Jean Carroll him, after you tried to Judge Marchand him, after you tried to Fannie Willis him, none of it worked. And he gets to be president again. And now you're doing a weak impression of him because your fighting skills are lackluster, and Napoleon Dynamite would barf all over you with embarrassment.
That is true. You know, I am wondering, do you have a massive hickey on your neck?
No, I've got whiplash. This is actually a cervical collar.
Is it a cervical collar?
Yes.
It is. It makes your head so tiny.
I actually have a really large head, so I'm trying to overcompensate.
You're like, you know what you remind me of? You remind me like of a container of a dishwasher soap.
Because I smell so good and I clean your dishes?
No, I just want to pop your head off, squirt you on my plate. I just want to pop your head off and squirt you on my plate, lady.
Slow down, Jeffrey Dahmer. The sequel is not coming out anytime soon on Netflix.
Oh, that is the biggest turtleneck I've ever seen.
It's McQueen, darling.
It is. Is that in style?
Well, it was expensive, so.
Yeah. Could you imagine Dana in that? She'd be like, you wouldn't even see her. She'd be like, all right, I should.
She's in here. Wait, hold on. Dana, he's talking about you. No, come out. It'll be fun.
Nicely done.